Welcome back, everybody, to more Humankind with myself, Daniel from Dan Has Fun. We're in really a two-horse race at this point. I was having just a very quick look between episodes because this is a new recording session. And I wanted to make 100% sure I knew what I was planning to do. We're in the lead for fame. Not by very much, admittedly. We're actually technically slightly behind in terms of overall progress. Poles, the black nation there, is actually 2 stars ahead overall. But realistically, we are in a 2-horse race. Obviously, brown is a vassal of ours. Magenta is a vassal of black. And then the 2 remaining independents, lime green and orange, respectively. There's not a lot going on for them. Especially lime green decided last episode just to hate us seemingly out of nowhere. Still not really sure why, but they do. I don't believe we have... Well, we actually do have 82 war support going on. They have 100 against us, which is interesting. If we wanted to attack them, we could. Actually, it's a possible idea. This isn't even something I was planning on doing before this episode started, but it's a funny thing to think about. They are allied to the Dutch, though. So if you end up attacking one, you're going to be attacking both. We'll probably not do that right now. What we're trying to do, though, is get our war support up against the Dutch, because right now the only war we can do is a surprise war, and that's not going to be ideal. And our other obvious concern right now is the fact that, yeah, we could go to war, it's fine. We'd probably win if it was just against one of these guys in isolation. And honestly, even against both of them combined, we might win. But our concern would then be that we get backstabbed by the Poles, who already absolutely despise us and everything about what we do. And I believe they got relatively similar military strength. So we're kind of in awkward stalemate, I guess. So I'm thinking our next best port of call is just to try and focus on getting some era stars, and we're pretty close to a handful of them. So we're nearly, at the influence threshold for a star. We are actually at the population threshold, realistically, for a star. We just have to get one more somewhere. And then a couple more districts gives us one as well. And actually one more expansionist, one more expansionist star can be ours if we expand out here somewhere, whether it's this crappy group of islands over here, this crappy group of islands over here, well, cluster, clump of an island, I guess. It's wasteland garbage predominantly. And there's another island up here too, but it looks even worse, frankly. There's a river, or Lake Belial, or Baikal. How do I get Belial out of that? Apparently reading is difficult. But none of those are hugely enticing options. But, they'd be purely being done for fame reasons only. And these guys are in transport galleys, so they only get a movement of 2. Do they drown if you don't have... Yeah, destroyed by spending more than 1 turn in deep water. So we technically can't get our units over there anyway at the moment. Even from here, it's going to be way more than 4 tiles. And there is land up there, I guess, technically. Is its own separate segment? It looks like it. I see a pale line there, so you could technically expand up here. But that looks like absolute garbage location. And yeah, in order to get through this territory, we'd have to declare war, which obviously we don't want to do. So I guess we'll just put our scouts back on land for now. Not much they can do at this point in time. We do have our city of Seuss over here. Again, I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. We're just going to pretend that I am. And we do have some defenses on it. It's not completely, completely isolated. It might be worth doing some upgrades, though, on these units. We can afford to do it now. I know that's something else we were doing, was trying to make enough gold to be able to afford to do our upgrades. Really, our issue at this point is that we only have 59 gold per turn. So if we go too upgrade heavy, we're going to bankrupt ourselves for good measure. So we are in a tricky spot. Let's see what every city is doing before we move on to next turn. Our capital is doing a bit of food, and then production and science. pretty typical fare for myself. That's a pretty standard queue for me. Akkad is building military units still, because we're doing our unique unit for being the Mughals. Our Gaknal, I don't know how to pronounce that either. Running theme of this video, not knowing how to pronounce anything. It's not intentional, I just don't know. But it's a very good unique unit, so we are getting a couple of those out. We're building the Colossus of Rhodes here, which is a pretty helpful wonder. Gives us more fame and stability. Not going to complain with either of those. We're getting longbows still out in Seuss. I guess that makes sense because it's isolated. We're building a Pentaconter. I don't know. Anyway, we're just going to see, given this has 4 movement, if this is going to allow our scouts to sit in it. It does say it's a boarding vessel. But I don't know if that's going to actually impact the fact that it can take units or not. So we're just going to build one check. They're super cheap anyway. And then this city, honestly, is just doing money. So that's fine. So yeah, we'll go to the next turn and see what happens. We got a population increase straight off the bat. So that's awesome. We also got our influence. So we gained 2 stars in that one turn. So now we're actually level pegging in terms of progress with black. So that's awesome. We're back up to speed. We have an event off the bat. Speaking of, I wish when you get an era star notification, if you get multiple, it'd be nice to just say you have 2 era stars rather than you have an era star. You click on it, so you go into the progress screen, you then quit out, and then the game gives you another one. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me personally, but again, they're improving the UI constantly, so maybe that'll be something they do. The Defiant Canvas. With cultural venues flourishing across the empire, a famous painter has been criticizing your rule obliquely through their work. Based in the cosmopolitan city of Nemossos, their latest piece depicts a gluttonous, saggy-fleshed giant snacking on a platter of sugared cakes, and they're gaining much public attention. What is your response? If this was real life, I'd say that probably is a picture of me, honestly. Might be a pie more often than a cake, but it probably would be fairly appropriate. If we prohibit that, there's a chance of bad consequences. If we sponsor them, just so it, effectively we're bribing them, but not actually saying that we're bribing them, then we possibly get some good outcome. And it sounds fun, he says as he smashes his microphone. So maybe we'll try sponsoring it and see what happens. Doing sponsoring does push us slightly more individualism, but that's fine. Don't really care about that too much right now. So here is our new ship. And who knows if this is going to work or not. If I take this path, he's going to kill himself. So let's force the AI to do that so it doesn't drown at sea. Yeah, I don't know why there's no self-preservation with the ships for some reason. So if you're going to have your naval units auto-explore, definitely wait until they get to the era where they don't just drown out at sea, or become lost, I guess is the technical term they use in this, but they effectively just abandon hope and drown, practically speaking. We still need a way to deal with breaking these guys up, and I don't know how we're going to go out doing it, because they both hate me, so there's not much I can do about it on that side of things. Do we have anything from our vassal that we can extract that will be any more helpful than we already have? So we already have... We can't buy it anyway, because we don't, we're in a relationship, no trade is necessary. Same with our strategic, so that's nice. Is there anything else we can do with this guy, though? Not really. With grant freedom. I don't think so. He still doesn't like us, obviously. And apparently our trust is deteriorating rapidly as well. I wish we could just be friends, but, apparently that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen in this game. We have the proof that there is an army lost at sea, which is why I'm manually taking control of this so they don't kill themselves. As long as we're in this light, textured sea background, that's all that it cares about. I'm going to set up the next couple of turns as well, like that. And end turn. So we're really in a state of, like I said, just significant caution. Apparently I'm starving. We'll check it out. We're
Death
in...
from starvation.
Yes, I know. I just talked
Seems
about
that
death
these
from
are the times
starvation.
that try a people's dietary
We're just
habits.
going to buy that so I can stop getting the notification. It's probably not the most efficient way of doing that, but I just don't want to keep seeing it. Do we have any other science buildings? No. +3 gold will be helpful though, so we'll just get that, and then we'll build some more hammer stuff. Get our production up and running. Get our capital really pumping it out. Do we even need to upgrade these guys to horsemen? No. No, I think we're fine. We're just going to sit them in place, I think. We'll just station them for now. We're going to wait for that ship to cruise up and see if it can be a transportation device or not. I have a feeling the answer is going to be no, but we'll find out. I also want to see, is there anything we can do land raiser on? So if I click on, say, here, we have a city where we know we're building something. Yeah, you can set a city into land raiser mode. So all the money in science is converted into industry. It's an interesting idea, but I do want to get... What am I researching for tech? Is there anything here that's really, really important? I am significantly behind on tech, clearly. There's a lot of things I've not researched. No, I don't think it's worth it, honestly. That's a naval transport ship. 3-masted ships might be the way that we go next. And that builds, what, a caravel? And they have the high sea thing. So a 3-masted ship is where we're going to go next. So we're going to research. It's going to be one more turn until chivalry's done. And then we're going to go for that technology. There we go. So we have chivalry. The Maya are now suspicious about us as opposed to just being plain aggressive. We found another 200 gold as well, so that's awesome. With chivalry, we can build a hamlet. It's like most districts, it gives you negative stability. But it does give you extra slots for, you know, farming, working, trading, researching. So it's actually pretty good, especially once you get your yield for each of those up really high. So we do want to go... Where are you? 3-masted ship. It's going to take us a while to get there, apparently. We have to do foreign outposts first. Okay, we also have follow-up to our Poison Apples quest line. And we have new fruit that can be planted and eaten without anybody worrying about dying. And it just means we get more food. Briefly, it's for 10 days. 10 turns. That's fine. It was a good outcome. Not going to complain. Are we seeing any AI unit movement? Not really. What do they have around? They have, yeah, units with experience isn't going to help us. Great swordsmen, and they do have crossbows. Crossbows are pretty dangerous. Just to show in comparison, they're, what, 1 combat strength higher than this longbowman. But the longbowman has indirect fire, so it doesn't actually have to be able to see the enemy to fire at it, as long as somebody else can see it. Crossbows don't have that luxury, which makes sense. They're firing more in a straight line, right? And they just have more very similar units at Knossos. But I'm not seeing them really pile their units up next to me, which is great. I have a big clump of units at a CAD. It's why, you know, economy-wise, we're not growing massively. We have our Builder Star. We got to 69. Nice. Districts. Well, we're going to get a Science Star pretty quickly, too, because that'll be the amount of techs we need to get up to the end-game tech for, you know, at least initially getting off the bat for ocean traveling transport. So we're good there. That looks fine. And there's a curiosity there. I mean, technically we can get that without drowning, but we're going to get it next turn to not run any chance of the AI causing me to drown by accident. Because again, the pathfinding for the naval units is horrendous. It's so bad. So bad. Alright, we got foreign outposts, so that's now researched. Not really very interesting for us. Interestingly, they have Navigator, so even this really early tech naval unit can go into deep water, but it takes damage every time it does. So it can't stay there long term. We're just going to grab that while we're here. 200 gold. Take that every day of the week. And we'll have them I don't think they're going to kill themselves at this point if I get them to here. They should be fine. We'll see. We'll see what they do. Yeah, I know it says it's lost at sea. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. I do like that they now have that giant X across it, though, to make it really clear that it's at lost at sea status. They have done a few things since this game came out in updates to make the interface significantly better than it was, and a lot faster, too. This is just regular arrow movement at regular speed. That's interesting. So Lime Green actually declared war on the Poles. Thank you for that 200 gold. That's very nice of you. This island landmass is potentially quite big. It's not very good. The land's garbage, but it's actually quite a lot of land. So, I'm curious then.
You are the last person I want to see right now.
Yeah. They're at war with Lime Green. Orange didn't jump in? Why? Why did they not go to war?
I promise to pretend to listen. I'm listening.
I actually don't quite have enough war support now. That's probably why they declared war when they did. Because you need 80 war score unless you want to go in as a surprise war, which I don't want to do. I don't want to have to deal with that penalty.
Starvation.
Apparently every city's just going to go through the everybody's starving
Not
routine.
necessarily be from malnutrition.
Do we have a river in here? We sure do. Okay, we're just going to build one of these. Put it up here. It's 3,000 gold. There you go. It's also because you may have noticed up at the top of the screen here, the population limit is technically 23. And we have 25, so it's having a hard time balancing the food out. Definitely worth putting a hamlet down, though. Anywhere that isn't going to have massive issues with stability, it's definitely worth getting a hamlet down. I'm actually just going to, before I forget, just put a hamlet down in every location. There's not very good hamlet location for this, so I guess we'll just put it where the game's recommended it. But the hamlet, like I said, it gives you an extra slot for each of your main resources. So, in and of itself, it doesn't always give a particularly great tile. That's a pretty good one, 28 food. It's the fact that it allows you more specialists. That's a pretty bad tile, too. Do we have a better one than that, seriously? I guess not. Okay. That's fine. Get a hamlet out here as well. Where's our best hamlet location? 1720 is pretty good. 17 food, 20 production. So yeah, we'll get all those at least producing a hamlet. It's definitely time worth spending. It does, like I said, it does give you that stability hit, but it's still worth doing. We can apparently upgrade this as well. Okay, so it upgrades to a quadrireme. But it's still, yeah, so it's a boarding vessel. But it's not a vessel that can take travel, I guess. Okay, so we'll do this then. We'll just move across. I'm pretty sure then that the scouts are not going to be able to sit with them. But we'll just double check. Just going to say I'm at sea again. I am aware. It's okay. It is perfectly okay. Do we still see any enemy units around? No more than before. Okay, that's fine. Is Orange still not at war?
I hope our little chat is as unpleasant for you as it is for me.
Yeah, they never got roped in. That's interesting. Lime Green's going to get its butt kicked, is the problem here.
What do you want now?
Is there anything that I can just be like, no, I don't want to? Nope, and we're definitely not accepting the demands. Absolutely not. They should really like us, mainly because, you know, they're the Edo-Japanese, so their ideological proximity is always at 100. Always. So it's a bit of a shame, you know, that they just won't play ball whatsoever. Yes, there's not a huge amount I can do about it, though, so we'll just watch. I'm tempted, actually. before I do that, let me just see. Will you guys be able to come together? Nope. They're in their own transport galley still. So, figured, but now we know for sure. So we're just going to put them back there, and then this guy is just going to sit in place and just watch. He's basically worth nothing for maintenance, so there's no big deal there. But yes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my stacks of troops, preferably, and then try and do a little bit of fog busting. That one doesn't want to be up front. This one's okay, probably, with being up front. So it's going to just move on to the edge there, because I want to be able to see what's going on between these guys' borders, and I don't really have great access for that, because obviously their mutual border is here, just outside of Lulaban. But at least then we should be able to do a little bit of busting to see what they're doing. At least a little bit. Every little helps. Okay, so we now do have seafaring. The cog is a boarding vessel, and because it's a skilled navigator, it gets less damage from consecutive turns in deep water. So this can do the same job as what the three-masted ship tech's going to do, but it takes damage in the process. We could also get a great fish market, which is just money. The Maya are no longer haters, they're just terrified of us, which I guess is an improvement, right? Baby steps. Baby steps. Can this location build ships? No, because we don't have a harbour. I know there's a harbour down here. So I'm going to put a cog in my queue. I'm actually going to do it straight after the market quarter. We really don't have very good production in this city. It makes good money, but it has got horrendous production. We're going to get that gold building so we can really double down on the money we're making. But we're also going to do that because its main issue is it only has 3 slots available for industry, and it's just not cutting it. So we can certainly help out with that. Alright. So get out of my face, please, Nemossos. There we go. We're just going to sit these guys in place just like before. I don't see any combat happening here, honestly. But I don't know why Lime Green attacked Black in the first place. And we have a response in feedback from the Defiant Canvas. And we're going to rejoice because they're super happy. So for 10 turns, 3 of our cities have more stability. Again, not massive, but better than nothing. And we have another event triggering, the Human Cost. Across the border where war ravages the empire of the Japanese, thousands have abandoned their homes and are now seeking sanctuary in your peaceful lands. Refugees, and no doubt some agitators too, are amassing near the closest city of Seuss. They are tired but proud, afraid yet hopeful. It's a delicate matter, and one that may have far-reaching consequences. What is your decree? They picked the wrong city, by the way, to go to. Because if we process them, we lose 75 gold. Yes, we're paying to process them, but we actually get 2 population. If we refuse, we actually lose more money because we're going to be reinforcing our border, but there's potentially unexpected consequences. I have no idea what those consequences will be. I mean, that's why they're called unexpected, I guess. Or we can welcome them, and that gives us population and the chance of unexpected consequences. That sounds more fun. We'll do that even if it's not a good idea. It's just fun. I mean, it's also going to be really stupid because our population is going to be really struggling for food. We're at minus 36 food right now, which is pretty bad. Is there any way of dealing with this quickly? Because I don't want to keep seeing those notifications that people are dying. I know, the fact that people are dying is not the inconvenient bit, it's the fact the notification keeps coming up that's inconvenient. I'm going to take that off for a second. What was the yield on that? It was 10, right? Okay, it was 10. If I did another farmer's quarters, what's the best yield? 14. I'm going to put another one down. I might even have to go for a 3rd district. We're okay because our stability is still about, still at maximum, but I don't like having to do that. I also don't like the fact that I'm going to have to get these up front, I think. Get the farmer's quarters up first. No, I shouldn't do that. I should get the hamlet first. That is so expensive to buy. They're just going to have to build it. And we are going to get population notifications for the next few turns that they're just hemorrhaging it. But I want to see what those unexpected event consequences were. That sounds fun. Yeah, there we go. I know, you're starving. We'll do our best, I promise. Kinda. We'll do what I consider is my best, anyway. Still no enemy units around. I'm still very, very sure that Lime Green's going to get its backside handed to it. I don't get why they declared war. I don't understand.
As unpleasant for you as it is for me.
And I'm just trying to... I could propose a defusal, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to refuse their demands.
I find your proposition outlandish at best.
Utterly
They declared war on me. They declared war on me. Okay. That's convenient. Okay, I guess that works out for me. And extra conveniently, Black is distracted. Also, I just noticed that Suze isn't actually building anything because I'm dumb. And this is filling up their full unit space. So I need to do this. Actually do a transfer so I don't accidentally move them all. Can you just transfer those ones? There we go. Now it'll keep building. I don't know how long that was the case. I apologize. Oops. These guys are also losing food. So I guess I'm going to have to... Well, actually, if I get a hamlet down there, that would fix that problem. Do they already have a hamlet? It looks like they do. So the next best piece then. What food building do we have? 2 food per farmer. That's perfect. That'll fix that. And we'll get... I don't think you have a river, do you? Oh, no, you do. It's not going to be worth a ton of food, but we'll do that. They're having bountiful. So what's going to happen is that food's going to go away next turn, and then they're going to start hemorrhaging food. But conveniently, actually, getting this longbow will reduce the population by 1. We are going to go for an expert policy, though, because we can do that and get the food positive for now. Okay, that's fine. And I don't know why you haven't got one of those for extra 4 influence, but we'll just get that in the queue too while I'm at it, while I'm paying attention. Seuss's units are going to stay there. I have no intention of sacrificing their defense in order to attack Orange, but what we are going to invariably have to do is move some units around. So we're not going to be spending any money anytime soon. We're not going to be able to afford to do so. We are going to start moving that stack over, though. Nemossos has a 5 stack of troops. I honestly think that's going to be fine even without them being upgraded, because I don't see them attacking us down here. It would be kind of inconvenient for them. Yeah, and the way that this is set up, if they do come down, we're going to see them. We're going to see them down here in this basin. So we'll just keep a very close watch. We are going to start moving some of our stacks of units towards there, though. We have to kind of plan this out, because we have elephants. Elephants don't appreciate cliffs very much. That might be a, very little of a surprise for you. But in essence, what that means is we want to go over here, but we can't because that would require declaring war. So our path actually towards the enemy is going to be really stupid. So I'm going to start doing it just to get them moving in that direction. And we're going to move that stack, and we're going to move this stack of archers to be at the back. But we're still going to leave this stack in the city, or at least next to the city. We're going to move slightly further away now from the scouting zone, because we don't care about the poles at the moment. They're otherwise engaged, which is awesome. So we're going to see what they do. Can't believe he attacked me when I did, refuse to deal with that. What do we think our They must, yeah, they must have a similar military strength. But yeah, they want to buy resources from us. That's kind of funny. So they want something from me, but wanted to attack me to get it. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, personally, but meh. Whatever you want to do. Alright, so units are on the move. We are going to have to upgrade at least a stack. It's going to be expensive and it's going to hurt my income. Like, it's 4.5 grand, and our money went from 93 a turn to 42. But now we have a stack of 3 arquebusiers. Their only issue is they can't move and attack on the same turn. It's one or the other. So that's a bit unfortunate. But they do have the gunner trait. So they'll fight at full strength when defending against close combat attacks. That's good. We have a knight, which honestly isn't going to be particularly helpful here. It's heavy cavalry, but if we're attacking a city, that's useless. And we do also have a couple of great swordsmen, which are just generic run up front and hit things units. That's all they do. The stack behind has one of the special horse. I didn't say horse. That's a weird looking horse units. That'd be an elephant, my friend. But it can move and fire, which is awesome. And then it's just being followed along by pikes, which can be upgraded, but I don't want to spend the money right now. And a little bit of support around it. And then, yeah, our 5 stack is mostly just range. There's actually some experience in here, veterancy. But we're going to deal more with this next turn. Next turn, indeed we are. But we're also going to do it next video. So we have something nicely set up for the following video. Are we going to get our butts handed to us in this valley between 2 cliff faces? I don't know. We'll find out next time. I appreciate you watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you do want to like the video, go ahead or subscribe for some more. That'll be awesome too. Take care. Thank you for watching the video.